Hey everybody, this is Gundog92, and this is my submission to GDQ 2018, and this is Lisa the Painful RPG. So the intro of this game is pretty long, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. So, as far as the game goes, it is a turn-based RPG, very Earthbound-esque, but with a lot more dark humor. So, game kind of tackles some pretty touchy subjects, but it's a pretty good story. I'll explain a little bit more as we start seeing our characters. So, as we start, our main character Brad is getting beat up in the schoolyard. This is a flashback right now. Most of the game will be played as Brad is an adult. So yeah, like I said, this intro is pretty long. There's probably about 8 minutes until we get to our first fight. So when the cutscene starts, I'll kind of talk about the history of the run and how I kind of got to this point. So we're strolling through this neighborhood here, and we find this much less nice house, which this is a very stern man sitting in his chair. So like I said, this game deals with a lot of touchy subjects. So Brad's father is very abusive. You may hear a baby crying in just a sec, and that is Brad's sister, who, as you play more of the game, you'll figure out that she commits suicide, and Brad's kind of haunted with that the rest of his life. So it kind of leads into what the story is going to be like in here in a sec. So flash forward to the future. Brad is older, and he finds a baby, which is weird because in this post-apocalyptic future that we're in, we'll find out that all the women are gone, and the kind of the punchline of the game is that it never really truly explains it. So everyone kind of says there was a giant white flash, and then all the women disappeared. So it's pretty strange to find a baby. Obviously, there has to be a woman. But even if they can't find this woman, we'll see in a sec here that this baby turns out to be a girl. So obviously, our childhood friends just hanging out. And Brad kind of takes it upon himself to raise his child, kind of separate it from the world, and let it grow up. Yeah, so Brad kind of feels guilty about his sister, so he is taking this opportunity to kind of redeem himself. So while this cutscene is going, I'll kind of talk about the run itself. Right now, I am not the record holder. That is Harpa. He's a European runner. He ran this game at ESA this past summer, which it was good. It was a nice way to show everybody this game because I really enjoy it, but it's not very popular speed game. I think there's me and him are pretty much the only people that are currently running it in the past year. So I would love to get more people into it, especially if you don't want to take the 3 hours to play another RPG. This is a pretty good game. And as far as the game itself, there's a lot of optional content that really you don't get to see in the speedrun that is really fantastic. So a lot of the game was figuring out the routing, what party members were going to get, how we want to manage our items. There are 4 mandatory party members, and then there's 30 in total. So obviously there's a lot of coordinating as it comes to party members. Yeah, and a lot of the run itself, as far as the speed run, is kind of reacting to a little bit of randomness and resource management. So it is a good time. I would highly recommend if you want to start a speed run. It is an RPG. This would be a great one because it's not too long. A good time is like under an hour 30. Hopefully that's what I'll be going for. And we see Buddy growing up, trying to live a normal life in the confines of this house, sheltered from the world. And Brad still has some emotional trauma from his father and his sister. I really do love this game's story. It's kind of beautiful, the tale of overcoming grief and things like that. Grief and addiction and things like that. But we'll see here in just a sec. The thing he's picking up is joy, which is this game's drug. So is in-game item as well as a kind of a world building thing. But the item itself is great. We'll see in just a sec as I use it. We're gonna try to keep him joyed as much as we can. So, gonna go and turn the battle animations off and go ahead and give Brad some joy. So, this is the first fight. You see the button inputs there are how I do moves. Some combinations of things will do different moves. He doesn't know any moves at the beginning, but he just learned his first move, so we'll be using that. Joy makes all of your hits crit, which is pretty amazing. Those crows are where you'll save, and I'll be saving quite a bit because this game is very trolly. The developer likes to kind of mess with the player because any ledge, like you see back there, if I walked off of it, it's just boom, game over, start back, or load back up. So we're gonna try not to do that. Try not to walk off any cliffs or die at all, for that matter. Here we see Brad's friend is not doing so hot. He tells Brad that somebody has taken Buddy. So we are going to try to rescue her. The guy we picked up, sorry I didn't mention that, is Terry Hintz, the Lord of the Tutorial. So he's the kind of guy that explains everything in the game. So he's pretty useless as far as characters go. So we're gonna not use him for very long. He does have one very good move that will get us through some of the early game. I guess one question would be that if joy is so powerful, why am I using it this early? These enemies are not very powerful. And it's because in just a sec we're going to get all our possessions stolen. So there's no reason for us to not use it. It just makes everything go much easier. Like I just did, bottles can be thrown, which lets Terry do some decent damage. So over down here, we're gonna get our possessions stolen. Well, first we're gonna get hit by a truck, and you may recognize these guys. It is the bullies from the playground, and we'll see here that our rival rides in on his noble steed. So he gives us an ultimatum, which is kill Terry or steal all of our belongings. So we need Terry because we don't have very many party members. So we're gonna keep him. Also, if we gave him up, we would have to fight him later, which I think was one of the earlier routes of the game. Avoid this trap here. So the first thing we're going to do, now that we're in Area 1, is try to get some more party members, which turns out the fastest way to get party members is to just buy them. So we're going to get some money and then pay some dues to fight for us. Go in here and grab the cigarette, which we can sell for some money. And all the money that I'm picking up here is planned out in the route because we need to buy certain things, and it's actually pretty difficult as far as the route we've taken to get to the amount we need. We have to sell a lot of things or pick up some extra things to sell. So here we're gonna go to this bar, buy some potato liquor, because we can sell it in this next screen here to this guy for 50 magazines, which is the credits in this game. Which seems like a pretty good delivery fee. So we're gonna come over here and get some more joy. So we're taking this kind of detour. This isn't a required part of the Area 1, but it gives us some joy, which is pretty helpful. And joy is very powerful, and we plan the route around getting some of it, or going out of our way to get some. This is our first encounter with Buzzo, who is one of the warlords in this post-apocalyptic world. He is kind of the drug lord, so he gives us some free joy and sets us on our way. We may or may not see him again. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So we're gonna talk to this inconspicuous cabinet here and sell our 2 cigarettes. You may also see that we're moving pretty slow right now. And after we get our party members, the next thing we're going to do is get our bike, which will allow us to go quite a bit faster. Get the safety soup. Go this way, pick up some more bottles, which will be helpful later. And then fall on this guy. And his brother is so entertained that he gives us a perfume, which is this game's version of a revive, or Phoenix Down, or whatever you want to call it. So, we're going to go back to the bar, talk to Olaf, and buy his friendship with a drink. And this is Rage, who also would like some magazines for our company. And we see here our first Joy Mutant, which is a kind of a monster that transforms from taking too much joy, and we'll see a couple of these throughout the run. As you see, the status effect that was inflicted on them, which is Pissed, which is what Terry's ability does, and that is going to be kind of crucial for this upcoming fight, which is way higher level than we should be fighting at. We'll just run away from that guy because he just disappears into the ether. Gonna save right here just to be safe. And we're gonna go through this area. This is the pretty much the only. It's not the only area in the game, but it's the only one we're gonna see that has random encounters. And there are these snakes that come in through these bushes, like a Pokemon battle, and we are trying not to fight them at all, just like a Pokemon speedrun. It's also very hard to run from them at the level we're at, but as long as we don't die, I think we're good. Okay, this is pretty bad. Yeah, that was pretty miserable. So we're gonna kind of go against the grain here, and we normally fight this guy. We're gonna use this so that we can get to this next spot here. We're not gonna fight this guy. He gives a bunch of experience, but all my party's dead, so no need to do it. And we're going to kind of emergency rest here. Hopefully nothing bad happens, or we're gonna have to restart. Okay, some stuff went missing, so I would have to look and see what it was, but hopefully I don't think it's any joy. I think I have enough. Okay, we're just gonna try to do Verbal Bash, Bomb Arrow. So, like I said before, Pissed is the status we're trying to inflict on him, and it makes you kind of flail wildly. And the thing we're trying to do is make this guy hit himself. So that would be the optimal. It doesn't look like it's happening. Oh, there we go. So now he's pissed. So Brad is just hitting himself because he's pissed. See, he just hit himself. So we're gonna keep doing this. Hopefully Brad comes back to us so that we can. Okay, that's pretty bad. Yeah. And now Brad's not joyed anymore. And we don't have perfume. Yeah, this is bad. We're gonna have to restart. But we'll just play it through. So, not too bad. We'll just have to walk through the area again. And It's actually probably better because we didn't get to fight the guy for experience there. Yeah, this is the run killer. This basically getting up to this point is if you have a good time, you can keep going. If not, if we die to these snakes or something like that, or something bad happens to our party, we'd probably just run away or just restart. Alright. This guy basically has no health at all, so, but he gives, for some reason, pretty good experience. Okay, thought we were getting too lucky on the, oh wow. That was pretty good. So, now we'll get to try this fight without losing any other things. Yeah, we lost the, our perfumes when we rested. That was what it was. Okay, we're gonna try again. Hopefully we nope. Okay, weird's good. Weird doesn't do anything to Terry or to Terry. Yeah. Weird just makes your attack do less damage. Okay, not as good, but we can deal. Hopefully this doesn't hit him again. Usually this guy's pretty lenient. He doesn't attack very much. Crying is even better because now we don't have to worry about him attacking. Okay, we got pissed, so that's good. Okay. So like I said, piss just makes him flail wildly, so it doesn't mean he'll hit himself. It just, there's a high likelihood. Okay, see. There we go. Terry doesn't need to be alive for this, for the experience, because he's learned the one move he needs. So here we got the bike. Now we get to go fast. And you may wonder why we're not resting there. It's because there's a quote-unquote free resting spot later that we basically need to go to right now, and we'll just try to escape. If we run to another one, I may have to use a perfume. Yeah, here we go. We'll use fancy perfume on him, just because he has the most health. Usually these snakes are easier to run from coming back because we are have more experience. But as long as we don't die on the way out of here, we're good. So we're gonna come over here and rest in this guy's tent. Like I said earlier, resting has a chance to have some bad things happen to you. This one, there's only one thing, and it's this right here. There's a 1/3 chance that you get knocked over the head, and your luck and special defense will go down, which pretty much is inconsequential to us. Here we have to fight this guy, and by that I mean not fight this guy. So he disappears into the ether, and we can jump up these, do our little BMX tricks. With the bike we can cross the one length gaps, which is the reason we couldn't come up here beforehand. God, this guy's really slow. It also lets us fall down higher cliffs without taking that much damage, instead of taking the long way down. The bike also lets us do basically the one bug, or glitch if you want to call it that, in the game, which is what we're doing right here, which is if you dismount your bike at the same time that you get off of a rope, you'll maintain the speed but get off your bike anyway. So we use that when we're climbing ropes, because you maintain the bike speed going up and down ropes where you normally wouldn't if you were doing it normally. So here we overhear a conversation that these guys in this house up ahead have seem to have the girl. So we're gonna go try to find her. Pick up this bottle here, and we're gonna save again because the next boss is basically keeping this girl. As we see there, gentlemen of fine hair and are astounded that we have no hair, so they are going to fight us. This is a two-part boss that we are trying to attack the person in the but the hair does most of the damage. So we're going to try to inflict. That's pretty bad. We're going to try to inflict pist on the hair while attacking the body, which didn't end up working, but okay, that's good. Maybe enough to kill him or get them to the last phase, and maybe just one more turn. Okay, there we go. This should be it. Oh, the hair manatee. As we see that it was not a girl, it was a middle-aged man with a mustache. But he has a truck, so pluses and minuses. And he is going to be our key to getting across the gap that the truck is covering. So we're gonna switch out because we're going to need that person in our second spot for something coming up later. That's kind of really the last battle that we're gonna see. Most of them. There's like 2 more battles, but we're gonna kind of drop our party before the second area so that we can form our end game party. Like I said at the beginning, there's a lot better party members that we could probably get, but the ones that we're gonna get are definitely the quickest. Dang it. So pick up this fancy perfume. Pick up this bottle, these credits, and we're going to use some of these empty bottles and fill them with water over here. The reason we do this is because you can get 2 things out of this spigot here, which are dirty water and clean water, both of which are good. 1 and 3 is probably the best we can get. The clean water we're going to use for the clean water we're going to use for selling. Sells for a pretty good price. And the dirty water we will use at the very end boss because it inflicts poison. Dodge this car. Dodge this very burly man. There's also a rest spot up here, so it doesn't really matter how much damage we take. For some reason, I don't know why, this is the only literal free resting spot in the game. There's nothing bad that can happen to you here, so we take that as our advantage. And this is the only time also we're going to give joy to a person that is not Brad, because of Farty's ability Truck Slam, which crits for a whole lot and hits everybody in the party, or in the enemy party. So we're gonna keep doing the thing. And we'll see this fight coming up here that Farty hitting everyone with Truck Slam is pretty broken. Here we meet Percy, which is the other required party member, and we're going to save him from this terrible monster. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty scared of spiders. And he's so grateful that we saved his life that he joined our party. So we found Rick, one of our childhood friends. Apparently he doesn't want to talk to us, so we're going to make him talk. Little bit of an epilepsy warning for anyone watching this. I would look away for a little bit. He's basically telling us that that he gave Buddy up to the Rando army, which is the another warlord, because he didn't feel like keeping it to themselves was the right thing to do. So now we have to go find him. Well, he technically hasn't told us yet, but we're about to find out. He tells us exactly where Buddy is, but Brad has a little bit of a temper. So, our second encounter with Buzzo, this time he gives us an ultimatum, which is lose our party member or cut off our arm, which I like my arm, so I don't care about him very much. So, now we just lost him, so good thing is we didn't need him anyway, so we'll be building a new party here in just a sec. So, during this part, like you see there, I have to press enter to pop a wheelie, and if I don't pop a wheelie during these ramps, I will fall to my death. But if I'm popping a wheelie over a rock, I will also faceplant. But that was it. So here's our first encounter with Rando, which is the warlord that we were talking about. Ignoring the cart of dead bodies, he's actually pretty nice, and he gives us a bunch of Rando rations, which are the best healing item in the game. It heals all your health and all your SP. But his lackeys are not very happy about it, so we are going to deal with them. And you'll see Farty coming in clutch here by just sweeping across them. And that's why we joined him. So, I'm going to save here because this is really the biggest RNG part of the run. It doesn't kill runs, but because we have like a decent chance. But we have to play Russian roulette with our party members at stake. So, basically just mashing and kind of crossing our fingers. Well, so much for that. So, we have to win 3 rounds, and the only person we need to keep is Percy. So, not looking too good so far, but we got 2 more chances. We have to win 3 rounds, so I have come back and won 3-0. Well then. So, unless we win 3-0 here, we're gonna have to restart. Probably loses like a minute and a half, probably. Well, that was pretty bad. Winning or losing 4-0, so we're gonna have to exit out here. Game over ourselves. Try this again. And that's just the way this is. Usually it's not too bad because you have a bunch of chances, but it obviously can go pretty poorly. Okay. 1 out of 3. Okay, 2-3. Alright, 2 out of 3. Yeah, we probably lost like a minute and a half. It's good. Again. Under a minute, or under an hour 30 is still a good time. He gives us a bunch of magazines and sends us on our way. You can go back there and do it again. Once you get through the whole thing, you get a new party member, which is actually pretty good. Yeah, like there's a lot of optional side content in this game, which is, as we see here, the Serpent Sinister and the Salvation Rangers. No copyright infringement here. No correlation at all to any other characters you may know. There's a side quest for them to kill this Serpent Sinister, and I don't remember if you have to do anything else. But Dixon, the Pink Ranger, is a possible party member. So now we're in Area 2. We're gonna be getting our new party members since one of them died. That red flash you saw right there is the withdrawal condition, which means anyone you give joy is basically can get the withdrawal condition, which makes them really weak, which is kind of the downside to using joy. But if you just continue to use it, obviously there's no downside. So here we're gonna have to buy something that's pretty expensive. So we are going to sell a lot of our things, like this bottle of water, and probably this, and 2 Rando rations, because we need to buy these playing cards and a weird doll. The weird doll we're going to give to this guy, He's going to give us some whiskey, which seems like a pretty good trade to me. And the playing cards we're going to give to someone right over here, and they're going to join our party. This is Jack. He is or was a magician before someone stole his playing cards. Now we returned it to him, and he is a magician again. Because the top hat obviously doesn't make him a magician. And we're going to give the whiskey to this gentleman right here, who is probably the most busted character in the game. And so we're going to rearrange our party here. No. So use our fast travel, get back here. So the reason we got these particular party members is because every party member we have now has a fire attack, and Birdie has a debuff called Oil Up, which makes it so all fire attacks are critical. So that's kind of how we're gonna cheese through the later half of the game. What we're doing right now is we found out we need some TNT to blow open a hole to the next area. Okay, these guys are pretty hard to dodge, so I don't mind hitting them. Get back on my bike here because we can't cross gaps like that without a bike, even in the glitch state. Just avoiding these guys. Some equipment management I'm going to be doing here. We're going to be removing this old sock and giving it to Jack because it increases agility, which changes the order in which our party attacks. And we don't want Percy to be faster than Birdie, because Birdie is the one applying the debuff. You might be wondering why we stole this bulldozer, and I don't know why we wouldn't steal the bulldozer, to be honest. Here we meet Horace Dinkle, who always wanted to grow up to be a bulldozer driver, like his grandfather. And he goes to bulldozer college, gets a degree with the wrong name on it. Finally tries to save his wife with his bulldozer, and fails. And his priest tells him he probably could have saved her if he was only better at bulldozer driving. And his grandfather tells him he sucks. So, the story of Horace Dinkle. So, oh, dang it. Yeah, did that wrong, but we're good. But yeah, there's the oiled up condition, and you see just how much damage our fireball attacks do now. You also see Birdie has a different type of special energy, or like magic power. It's called TP, which doesn't refill. It only refills over time and by getting hit. So that kind of nerfs him a little bit. And we're going to grab this TNT here. And I don't think we have to heal. No, we're good. But we're going to save. This is the next area. So. This is a pretty funny section. These guys are obviously all worshiping something. We'll see what in just a minute here. So I don't know what you'd pray for to your ward, but a Diet Coke and a burger and some nuggets would be pretty good. So no similarities to any other company that provides fast food meals. So here we're going to use our first TNT because these guys are pretty nasty. Yeah, like I said. There we go. So we'll revive him in just a sec. So these deer are pretty easy to run from. I have seen sometimes that are like this when we don't get to run from them. I don't know what the chance is because I think it's based on agility, but it's pretty high you do get to run from them. And it's funny when you get caught. Jeez, this is... I usually have 0 can't escapes. It's because I said something, obviously, but... fancy perfume. We'll... give Brad some joy, and we'll be good. This guy's pretty tanky, but he's not very hard. Just trying to stall to heal my team a little bit. So we're gonna save because the boss is coming up here in just a little bit. That's the last scary deer we have to fight. So this is a Wally, and here we also actually let me do yeah, we'll do no, not TNT. Dang it. We'll let's do regular and try to stall. Okay, here we go. Diesel firebomb. Try to do some damage. We'll make Percy eat a rando ration. I forgot he's low on TP. The thing about Wally here is that all of his he's multiple phases when his face mask cracks here in just a sec. As I said, he loses all debuffs on himself, so any oiled up debuffs go away, which kind of sucks, but we can kind of manage it. And so okay, so we'll throw this other firebomb, and again, firebomb's another resource that is pretty important, so we definitely ration them out. Well, safety save here just in case. There's some parts like this that would be pretty good for donations. Yeah, there's not much to be said here. These guys inflict poison, which is kind of bad, but we will probably have to rest after this next kind of fight. Ideally, we wouldn't fight any of these, but find Buddy's mask, so that means she has to be somewhere around here. So here we find Buddy. And Sticky, our other friend, seems to be nowhere around. So we're gonna save Buddy, even if she doesn't want to be saved. I don't know why my time is shorter than my... So here we're fighting Buzzo again. Or we're not fighting Buzzo, but Buzzo's harassing us. Big boy. Okay. So, I think we're good for right now. Might have to take a rando ration to refill my SP, but I'll wait. This is Sticky, our mental image of Sticky. Yeah, the worst thing he can do is inflict weird on us like that, which just basically lowers our damage, makes us quite a bit slower. So he's being pretty lenient. Okay, there we go. That was a pretty good fight. So, seems like someone has taken Buddy. So, it is time for us to move on to the next area. Think I'm gonna try to heal. So, this is a little dangerous, but the good thing is we have extra party members. If we didn't have extra party members here, it'd be really dangerous. It'd be really dangerous to save our breast. Okay, so the reason I changed out my party member was because the party member in your second slot can get kidnapped, so we just changed it to someone who didn't really matter to us. We're gonna go around those guys and find our friends here. Giving us trouble yet again. So here we're gonna fight these bullies. So we're going to use our diesel firebomb. Okay, that was a really good fight. So we're gonna go on a little acid trip here. You get to hear some of the best music in the game for all of like 10 seconds. But that is the kind of the wrestling federation or whatever you want to call it of this world, and I guess we'll leave guys to their own devices and they'll create their own wrestling. But there's a whole side quest for that. It's pretty fun. Yeah, there's a lot of the humor of this game is kind of lost in the speedrun, which is unfortunate. But there's still some good parts. We're gonna have to kill these guys here because they come back and fight us if we don't. So here we get Buzzo's second ultimatum, which is lose our party members or he's going to cut off a piece of Lisa, or of Buddy. So the good thing is there's no downside to getting this cut off, but I don't know if there's a other ending or not. And she immediately gets away, which is I guess good for us. He gives us our last ultimatum, which is lose all of our possessions or our arm. Which at this point we can't lose everything, so we have to lose our arm. So, which isn't actually that bad because there's actually some upsides to it. Actually makes one of the fights coming up a little bit easier, and I'll explain that. So basically the purpose of this area is we just met not Tardy, but something. some other Lardy Tardy Marty, something like that. And the buddy stole his boat, so we are going to reclaim the pieces, or reclaim pieces of a boat. Try to get to where she went. Oh. So we're gonna have to search for a fan for. Oh, okay. Well, that was sweet. I guess for as much as the encounter. These guys are kind of hard to dodge because you can't even look at them apparently. Yeah, that was just because of that text box. That kind of sucked. But I guess we're fine now. So let me rando ration up some guys, and we'll fight the first of our couple bosses for this area. We're gonna. These guys are very, very weak to fire damage, so we just completely obliterate them with TNT and diesel fire bombs. Oh no, wrong area. So now we're gonna get the sail of our would-be ship. And we're just kind of getting to the next boss. Not much to say here. Yeah, there's pretty sweet music in this game. I really like it. I think if you ask anybody that's speedrunning, the music is one of the high points. We're gonna sell all this nonsense, and we're gonna buy Brad's best equipment, which was there, and so the reason we equip that there is because the it's actually a negative effect. It decreases, I think, all of your stats except your luck, and we want Percy to be even slower because right now he's attacking faster than Birdie. So this fight's kind of annoying. It just takes a little while if you don't get good starting TP on Birdie. This is where we're going to use the last TNT. I think. Yeah, I think this is the last TNT. So we're just gonna use it to make this fight a little bit faster, or not, or if we didn't, it would drag on quite a bit. Gonna make sure that how many we have 3 TNT. Yeah, we can do this. We're actually gonna use 2 of it. So Birdie started with enough TP to use the oil up, so we're gonna deal a whole buttload of damage to him right away. Obviously he has 1,000,000 health. Okay, that was a superb fight. Probably one of the better ones I've had. And it's all just because Birdie started with enough TP to use the oil up. Yeah, I think I'm saving like 10 seconds on this split here, even though we're a little bit behind. So this is one of the last pieces of our boat, which is the wood. As you see here, the rope climbing glitch comes in handy. Climbing down all this, it would be very slow. Area 3 definitely has the best music, for sure. Boss isn't too hard, so we shouldn't have a problem. So, like I said earlier about Brad getting his arm chopped off, is that usually your fireballs can't crit, but it's, for some reason, I don't know if it's the way it's coded or something like that, when you get your arm chopped off, you can crit, apparently. Which really is normally helpful in this fight when you're not paralyzed. Wow. Brad is paralyzed for a long freaking time. Okay, there we go. So this will probably kill him if we're lucky. As you see, it does a lot of damage when we crit, but okay, there we go. That was worse, but it wasn't terrible. So we're gonna go get the last thing, which is the toolkit to put our boat together. And here we'll get the last mandatory party member, but we will not use him at all. So here we have to avoid these suicide bomber type guys. But as long as we're not in the path of them, we should be good. These guys we can just run away from. So here's Buffalo. He is guarding the toolbox and wants us to be very clear that he played football in college. So we're going to TNT these guys. Fortunately, Birdie fell down, so we were not able to gas him up. Okay, that wasn't too bad. And then Buffalo joins us. Oh, we got the toolbox. So we're gonna. So that's basically the last big fight. From the rest of the game on, we're gonna be playing with basically just Brad, kind of finishing up the game. And here's a like a 2-minute cutscene of us going to the island. There's some nice steel drums. Stretch a little bit. The last 10 minutes coming up. I guess one thing I can mention why this is playing out is the donation incentives and stuff like that could be for this. There's a pain mode. That's probably the big one. Wait for this music to die down. But pain mode is a lot harder. Have optional enemies. There's also a part where at the end of the game where we have the option to hug Buddy, and so you could have hug percent or something like that, which I think would be pretty funny. So here we're going to use some of the last of our joy, and as it turns out, our dear old dad is still alive. And as you can imagine, Brad is not very happy about it. So, while we were passed out from rage. Buddy steals our boat again. So we're gonna have to improvise. So we're picking up all of these balls here because we're gonna be making a lot of fire bombs, which is the kind of the way we're gonna get through the last wave of enemies. Obviously, these times are also good for donations, so I know RPGs can be a little bit long, but I really enjoy this game. I really do. So now we're on Rando Island. Still trying to find Buddy. We also don't have our bike on this segment, so it takes a little while. Yeah, as the game kind of starts wrapping up, more donations and so on. That was a good fight. Usually we don't crit there and it's a 3-turn fight. So we finally get to Buddy, and she doesn't want to have anything to do with us. So at this point we actually enter a new state, which is called the failure state, or you become a failure. And you get a bunch of new moves which help us with the last battle. So here we're gonna juice up on fire bombs. Grab some rando rations while we're at it. But we'll grab, we'll have 16 diesel fire bombs. Will be plenty for the end of the game. We also have the 2 joy we still have. So So this shouldn't be a terrible time. It's still going to be under 130, and 130 would be my my estimate. 130 under 130 is a good time. With pain not included, I would probably bump that up to like 145 just in case like terrible deaths happen. Because there's points where you can permanently remove members from your party, which is pretty grim. So here we're going to be lobbing fireballs at our good friends. And we'll take the joy so it lasts into this next fight. And yes, we're going to be fighting all of these enemies. Wave after wave. So, like I said, he gets all new skills, Brad. One is this burning head slide, which inflicts fallen and damages everyone, which is pretty good if you can imagine that. So, we're just going to be using this until we get to Rando, which is our final boss. Whoops. Should be losing our joy here in just a sec. We're gonna rando ration ourselves. Throw some fire bombs, finish these guys off. If this guy dies, one-time dealer. Okay, good. So now we're fighting Rando. And Rando is another multi-phase boss, so anytime his mask breaks, we have to reapply debuffs, which remember those dirty bottles of dirty water we got at the beginning of the game. Rando is for some reason really weak to poison, so when we get burning and poison on him, it's a pretty nasty combo. He's also immune to falling, so we are going to try to stun him if we can. If not, it's still okay. Oh, there we go. So, throw some more dirty water. Hope we poison, which we didn't. Try one more time. Nope. Well, we'll try to burn him. Not the best rando fight I've ever done, but it's good enough. Once his mask breaks, if it ever frickin' breaks, will be good because he doesn't. Okay, there we go. He doesn't attack very much during his last phase, or his damage is much less. As I say that, he attacks me. There we go. So, the timing on this game is not when the credits roll, but the last input, which is after the credits. So, time will be coming up in probably like 3 minutes. So this will be under 1:30 for sure. So we did this all for Buddy, who may or may not have wanted it, and that's kind of the moral dilemma of the game. I obviously won't explain all the backstory. If you want to play this game, it's amazing. Just how deep these characters are. So this is the chance when we get to hug Brad, but unfortunately it's slower. So we are going to leave him. Now on to the Hold Right Simulator 2015. Yeah, as you see, this run wasn't the greatest. Died on the getting the bike. So I guess this is the exhibition of what could possibly go wrong and still be on a fairly decent time. But yeah, I really like GDQ. It really got me interested in speedrunning. I think it's a great cause. We see here that Brad is turned into a joy mutant, which we fought earlier. Yeah. When he says Lisa, that's the time. So yeah, 128. I think that's actually it's not terrible. I mean, it's not great, but well, thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.